Okay, here's the previous problem revised one bit. There's another issue that can happen where you can get answers but they're not pretty answers like our first example. I changed that from positive to negative. And then what that's going to do is I'm not going to write A, B, and C down again. I'm going to put the numbers in the quadratic formula. Well, I'll write down A, B, and C. I'll do that. I'll change my mind. I'll write down A is 2, B is negative 3, and C is negative 12. I'm not going to write the quadratic formula down. I'm going to fill it in with negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2 times A. So I set it, but you would, and now I can plug the numbers in. So B was negative 3, and that goes right here. 4 times A is 2, and then C is negative 12. And you'll see that now that this part here is now going to be positive. And so I'm going to get a positive under the square root, not a negative like last time. That's why I changed it a little bit there. Okay? And if we actually go and check all the factor pairs, there's no pairs of numbers that multiply to 24, A times C, that subtract to give you negative 3. There are no pairs. And so we're still stuck. So that's why we're using the quadratic formula. So now I'm going to solve this thing. X equals 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 8 times 12 is 96 over 4. So that's 3 plus or minus the square root of 105 over 4. And we're not simplifying radicals at this time. We will later, we will in a little bit, but right now I don't want to get hung. I just want you to be able to use the quadratic formula. And so that's this number under the square root is not negative. So we can approximate it with our calculator. So I'm going to type it in my calculator here. I'm going to say the square root of 105, and I might round it to 2 decimals, is 10.25. I'm going to say that this is approximately 10.25. So I'm going to write plus or minus 10.25. I'm going to have 3 over 4. So I'm going to go, so I'm running out of space, so I'm going to work this way. I'm going to say x equals 3 plus, so we'll go like this. So you can see it's separate. 3 plus 10.25 divided by 4, or x equals, so I'm going to say or, x equals 3 minus 10.25. Whoops. That's a mess. Okay, so when I do that, 13.25 divided by 4 is approximately 3.31. So really I'm going to use the wavy lines, 3.31. And this one, I'm using the wavy approximate lines. 3 minus 10.25 is negative 7.25 divided by 4 is about negative 1.81. So there's our answers there for x. So they're not as pretty as they were before. But that's how you would do one that had a positive square root, but it wasn't a nice square where you could approximate it with a decimal. We'll learn later about simplifying radicals to make the number exact, but we do approximate for now at the beginning of the year. I hope that makes sense.